But let's get going here with our fresh look at Alien RPG Building Better Worlds now. In order to keep my voice going as I read the pages and we talk about things, I do have some synth blood ready to go here. It is very lovely, and it is carb-free synth blood too, which is nice. Hi, Survival. Now, Capo, you had asked about the track that is currently playing. This track is called Star Freighter. Star Freighter. I'm glad that you liked it. I'm going to move us into another one, though, because, I mean, you all were listening to this during break, and there's some other good, very spacey ones. I don't want to put on Space Battle because we're not at that point yet. But I do want to be oot and a boot in space here. All right. We'll put this to background music levels. Yeah, Cat's saving it for... I mean, y'all keep telling me I should get an OnlyFans and put up the Laundry Day minis and, I don't know, maybe a cat butt or something, so... Anyway. Hi. Welcome to Alien RPG. Oh, you know what? Even before we listen to this for too much longer, I did have something special. For those of you who might not have been here for it, because there have been many of you newly arrived to the channel since this was played on it from last year. I want to give you an introduction to Alien RPG. Now, this is specifically referencing the three-part series that we ran last year called Red Space. And you can find that, other games and workshops, over on the YouTubes. The link, at least for live chat, is there. If you're watching this later on YouTube, hi, welcome from the past. And thank you for being here. But I want to show you the introduction that gives you the idea, the mood, the and the fun of Alien RPG. And from that, we'll then delve into the book and all the disclaimers and legalese that will come with it. But right now, let's celebrate something that we did and the joy and the fun that we had with this original story. So hold on tight. There we go. Haha, I found my microphone button. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that. That should do much in order to set the mood and give you an idea of some of the things that this game can help you explore. It does have a sense of wonder, a sense of vastness. You get to play around with some technology and spaceships and guns and all sorts of cool stuff. But there are also many horrors that you can find, and not all of them are from the obvious sources. Now, for what we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to delve into Alien: The Role-Playing Game, and in a full disclosure, I was sent a physical copy of the book, by Free League, okay? Though this is a little bit harder for me to present to you all. So what I'm going to be doing in order to do that, I mean, this was also a marketplace purchased. I got this from Drive-Thru RPG, came out of my own pocket. I paid for this copy, and on top of that, I will be giving away this book at the end of the week on Saturday. So if any of you would like a copy of Building Better Worlds, I want to pay it forward. If Free League sends me the book, I want to pass that on as well, since I have this one, and I can order one in for myself. I have a store. I don't need to be greedy with this stuff. I want to inspire you all. I want you all to be filled with creativity and a sense of wonder, joy, and maybe even a little bit of dread as you turn every page and go, oh, that's gnarly. All right? So, while I was sent a physical book, I will be passing it on in a giveaway on Saturday. I've paid for this copy myself for reviewing. And so you can follow along here. If you have this book yourself, please do. I mean, you can keep up with the pages. I have not read this yet. This is going to be we're going into this blind. We are, let's look at the art. Let's look at how things are laid out. I had very good opinions of the core Alien book that we explored last year. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that to come, because why would they change something that works so well? Also, in any comments that come up, I was not asked at all to provide any particular recommendation. If this book turns into a pile of hot garbage, I will say so. I sincerely doubt it is, because Free League has a very good reputation. I mean, overall, and for Alien RPG, I loved what they've done with the layout of it, the art, everything else. But I am under no compulsion to give this a particular review. I am not under any compulsion to say, well, you're allowed to say critique, but you also have to say 3 good things about the book for every 1 bad thing you say. My opinion, my expertise is not bought nor sold. I'm not compelled nor having. I mean, there's no overt access to future products that will be withheld from me if I do not give a glowing review. 10 out of 10 would infest and chest burst again. Okay, so so I'm not sponsored. I did receive the book, which really has gone on to just cause me to purchase this for myself, and I'm going to be giving that book away because I think that would be the fun and right and proper thing to do. Oh, it's going to be like this. Let's go like this then. All right. I suppose I can always zoom in if I need to. All right. So, yep, here we go. Crack open your books and let's get to building better worlds. Now, the bit of the joke is that is the slogan for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, which in universe is the big bad guy evil corp. They're not the only ones, but they're the main ones with the coolest logo. Okay, so building better worlds is the corporate slogan for Weyland-Yutani. So of course it would make sense for exploration and world building and a lot of environmental factors that let's invoke that. As you can see with the past book, because I do have my Aliens book also here that we can flip through. So I'll do that. We'll kind of zoom out a little bit. There we are. So things are consistent with color, with the way that everything is outlined. And just look how nicely, not just in the core book, that the information is laid out. You're going to see the art is referential for the chapters. You're going to see everything has its own section as well. And if we do need it, I also have an Aliens character sheet that's form fillable. But let's tuck this away for now. We come back to here. So everything you've seen in the other books, it carries forward. This isn't a radical shift. You don't have to suddenly get used to reading things in a new format. Species catalog, systems and colonies, lost worlds, and various expeditions as well. Pioneers wanted. Space is a pitch black room. Stick your hand out and you might never get it back. Of course, you might also touch God. It's a gamble either way. To not try, however, is to wither and die. Only those bold and foolish enough to take a chance will change their lives. Now, while this is providing quotes or making quotes, do you have to know everything about xenomorphs and aliens? And other such things in order to play Alien RPG? No. Everything can be contained in the books. If you want to tell a science fiction story, play Alien RPG. If you want to play a science fiction horror story, play Alien RPG. If you want to play a horror story with elements of sci-fi, play Alien RPG. You don't have to know all the terms. Just like, think back to whenever you learned your first RP system. It could have been D&D or something else. Did you know all the different types of dragons and lore? Did you know what an Audiug was? Did you know what an owlbear was, as obvious as that sounds? Could you describe them? Could you, were you expected to read novels or watch movies prior to playing D&D? Or could you pick that up from the books, the notes, the lore, talking to other people? Maybe seeing it on other channels too. That is the same approach. While yes, this is a branded system, this is Alien RPG, this doesn't just have to be Alien RPG. It doesn't just have to be all of this is intellectual property which can never break outside the boundaries. Look at this as a storytelling system that does have a focus. It has a specialty, but how can you stretch it, twist it, bop it, like you can with any other role-playing system? Don't know the second one. What, Artemis? All the wonder and danger of the stars is yours, if you can just wipe the grime off your face and dig the dirt out from under your fingernails first. Airless moons circle swirling gas giants, eager to be transformed into tomorrow's paradise. Dark ancient mysteries wait to be unearthed beneath a millennium of debris. Searing solar flares boil your flesh and blacken your bones as you harness their power to light 100 worlds. Long lost mysteries lie entombed in the frozen hearts of icy comets. Unstable tectonic plates shift to drown iridium mines in scalding lava. Even the truth of humanity's origins awaits you out there, orbiting some dying star. And out there, amongst it all, is something truly horrifying. Something that nature never intended. Something alien. Oh, Otyughs. Otyugh. Belladonna calls them three-legged good boys. They're monsters that tend to lurk in the sewers. They have tendrils with eyes on them and a great big mouth. Think of them kind of like if bullets lived in the sewer and were tricycles. Or you mix a bullet with a displacer beast and made him super yucky. But do you see how easily that just came out? I don't have a reference document open. I promise I don't have one open off to the side. That's the same thing, the same approach. And I mean, many of us have met through Dungeons and Dragons, and here Artemis Rose Moon has not heard of an Otyugh, and that's perfectly fine. Some of you may never have heard of a xenomorph, or if I describe to you a Praetorian, that it doesn't come to mind. A Praetorian, okay? Is that like a monk or something? Like, are they praying? What is a Praetorian xenomorph? Is definitely its own thing. I don't know if one of those is in this book, but it's a type of xenomorph. Anyway, that's a good introduction, by the way. The visceral description helps you with the very first sentences in this book know what you're going to find. And it looks like I disconnected. Let me ask chat. Did I just disconnect? No. Oh. Yeah. Waka waka. All right. Yeah, everyone's well, all right. For YouTube, hi. I'm still recording and you can see and hear me even though Twitch can't right now. What's in this book? This book is a complete campaign module for the Alien RPG. Giving you all the tools you need to run a full open world campaign as a pioneering explorer or colonist. This is the second in a series of modules dedicated to the campaign play mode, as opposed to cinematic play. See page 19 of the core rulebook. Each campaign module will focus on one main career in the Alien universe. Just like the core rulebook, this book is divided into a players section, a game mothers section. Oh, am I back? Hello? Try refreshing. Looks like I might be back. In fact, there's a xenomorph right up there from Cozy. Yeah, here I am. Hi, everybody. We were talking about what is in this book here. That this is focused on the campaign style of play and not just the cinematic style. If you remember from our prior Alien RPG workshop, there are two different modes of play, which can focus on different goals or perhaps rules as well to play by. I do find that to be a fun part of this system. Is you can run it as an overarching, hey, we're going to get together every Wednesday night and play Alien RPG for the next 3 years in our own story that we make. Or if you want something that's a little more vicious, faster hitting kind of one-shot style, or, maybe a little bit longer, 2-3 shot, the cinematic play is just that, where you're running horror movies and you're having fun throwing out different ideas and such. Remember, in this system, the GM is the game mother instead of game master. All players are allowed to access the players section at any time. This is your field guide to the weapons, vehicles, and protocols of the Extrasolar Colonization Administration and its affiliates. Keep it just as handy as your motion detector, which you can see behind me. And you might even survive out here on the frontier. The Game Mother section, starting on page 95, is for the GM's eyes only. Top secret, hush hush. Do not venture here if you are to be a player in this campaign. Just don't. You'll spoil the fun for everyone. So, we'll go over what's front-loaded here. See what it offers for building the better world, for adding to your Alien game to maybe generate a planet, a colony, or other such things. And I'll see what I could do about the Game Mother section. If that's something I have to read off screen and introduce because there are story elements, I don't want to spoil that story for you all. But I can give you an opinion on it without spoiling it. I just don't want to have it up on screen in front of you. To find and forge our future. The motto of Earth's expansion era into space, to find and forge the future, is the purview of explorers and colonists. Both paths fall into two categories, the bold and the foolish. Which role will you play on the untamed frontier? Hi, Woden. Space is infinite and full of possibilities. For a century and a half, humankind has traveled to exoplanets to find new resources and new life forms. Yes, you know there are dangers, you aren't an idiot, but the chance to be at the forefront of human expansion in both territory and knowledge is too thrilling to ignore. Ask yourself the big questions. Where do we come from? What makes the universe work? For the past century, humankind has stood on the precipice of the answers to these questions, or to these and other questions about life, space, and our own origins. Carrying on the legacy of pioneering entrepreneurs, Peter Weyland and Hideo Yutani, to push the boundaries of human understanding. The company needs inquisitive minds to explore new worlds and help plumb the depths of space. You're a pioneer. Our future is yours to find. Discover a mineral-rich moon and have a colony named after you. Catalog a new life form and receive shares in its future exploitation. The secrets of the universe await you out there amongst the stars, along with the resources humankind needs to conquer the middle heavens and beyond. Yeah, don't tell me what I'm not, says Sierra Echo. Here are the facts. Exploring new worlds is a dangerous proposition. Corporate management will make snap decisions to prioritize the success of the mission over your gall-darn life. Alien planets mean alien life forms and alien dangers unique to each new world. While there is often a backup team on your scientific exploration vessel, that's it. If something threatens the ship itself, you are all screwed and on your own. Endurance tests and cross training. Explorers are required to be at their physical peak before being approved by their sponsor for expedition duty. Many are cross trained in starship piloting and repairs to help support a SEV's crew and needed as needed. You want this job, it's time to get ripped. You prefer a potbelly? Colonial life is for you. ICC quarantine. Upon returning to any space station, major traffic hub, or core system from any exploration mission resulting in contact with an extrasolar life form, expedition teams are required to spend anywhere from 24 hours up to 90 days in ICC quarantine. If any exploration team fails to notify an ICC branch representative of said contact, its members will face fines, imprisonment, and confiscation of assets. Unlike most careers on the frontier, explorers are well paid for their work. Incentives often include book deals, dedicated laboratories after a decade in the field, and positions at prestigious universities. Whether they got it via scholarship, legacy, or corporate sponsorship, explorers are required to be graduates of high education. Some have even been known to pay their own way, but that's increasingly rare in today's corporate-owned colonial communities. Most are company-sponsored, signing over their careers to corporate greed. The few elites that make a name for themselves are rewarded lucrative incentive packages, and some of those have their education contracts bought out by the prestigious Geholgod Institute, allowing them the freedom to choose their own career paths after that. As far as gear goes, most corporations put their products through field trials on expeditions, so explorers usually have access to the very best, if not always the most thoroughly tested equipment money can buy. Now, if I may for a moment snap my suspenders and go, well. If you like this, it sounds like, well, being an explorer, it sounds like, it's kind of like in D&D, you're starting at level 3, not at level 1. This was the build-in to Red Space and everyone aboard the Emmet. Which was a scholarly vehicle. So I will toot my own horn a little bit here if this is exciting you and you're like, oh, this is cool. Well, we did it before it was cool. Anyway, being braggadocious aside, because I'm actually glad for this. We have build up. You are being immersed into the system the system in character and the system out of character as a potential player or a runner of the game. You're getting an idea of the mood of this future, of the elements that make this science fiction. What can you expect? What can you hope to glean in order to pick up passively elements that will support what is being overtly just told to you through a stat block or through the description of an interaction or rules. Are you tired of working 12-hour shifts and never getting ahead? Why settle for a thankless job flushing waste vents and other menial tasks for the well-to-do elite? In the core systems, you're a nobody. But you're no nobody. Wouldn't you rather be master of your own destiny, helping to forge our future in the Middle Heavens? In association with Wayland Yutani Corp, the Extrasolar Colonial Administration is looking for brave souls to conquer humankind's latest frontier, the Outer Colonies. Additional compensation is available for the experienced, but no skills are required. The company will train you. Best of all, not only will you get to make a new life for yourself, you'll own shares in the colony you helped to shape. The prospect of frontier life is exciting to be sure. The idea of taming a new world can seem like a dream to the average lower class citizen of Sol and the other core systems. The corporations aren't blind to this. They exploit it to convince everyday people like you to pick up and leave their lives behind for a Dust Bowl existence on some barren rock cut off from the rest of civilization. Before you sign on the dotted line for your new shit life, however, the company needs to make sure you can handle it. So it goes a little bit more into it. Hi, Heretic Trance. Heretic, are you tired of working 12-hour shifts and never getting ahead? Why settle for a thankless job flushing waste vents and other menial tasks for the well-to-do elite? Now, Heretic Trance, I heard on a rumor that Wayland Yutani is hiring bold individuals and will give them all the training they need in order to have an exciting life out on the frontier. That could already be you, Heretic Trance. Are you too much of a homebody? But just think about it, Heretic. Skilled colonists are offered supplemental wages over laborers who will need to be trained, but everyone receives some kind of share in the colony's profits. As a colonist, you'll receive room, board, 3 meals a day, and a small monthly stipend for personal expenses. When a colony's atmosphere becomes self-sustaining, you'll be given the option of keeping your quarters in the main colony or building a homestead of your own using scrap parts and cargo containers. Any training the company provides is not for free. Costs are broken up into 12 monthly withholdings from your first year of colonial paychecks. For more, see the sidebar on Contract of Colonial Rights and Liberties on the next page. It's all right there. It's black and green. You'd rather flush the vents. Survival says, what if I'm perfectly happy cleaning soup dispensers? Well, here we go. More awesome art. Yeah, you're getting a flavor of things to come. Clearly, clearly you all should go out into the worlds and eat, drink, and be merry. Go discover the cool stuff hidden under every rock. All these wonders of art, design, human ingenuity, all utterly meaningless in the face of the only question that matters. Where do we come from? I refuse to believe that mankind is a random byproduct of molecular circumstance, no more than the result of mere biological chance. No, there must be more. And you and I, son, will find it. Sir Peter Wayland and David 8. We're getting a little bit into the history of the world as it's presented. If you are a lore hound for all things alien and the Aliens verse and xenomorphs and such, which could extend into I don't know how much is pure movie, how much they've taken from the various novels and comics. Or if something has been made up and added to fill in a detail, or it's, hashtag seems legit. To equate this over to Dungeons and Dragons, if you're to play in the Forgotten Realms, do you have to know the entire timeline of Faerun? in order to play or enjoy the setting? No. Is it there and you can read it and draw upon it as a character living in that world? Absolutely. As a person telling a story in that world? Yes, absolutely. Are you compelled to remember every Dale Reckoning date in Faerun? No, not at all. So if you see stuff like this, read it, be curious about it, see how events might play out, because that's good practice for you as an up and coming game mother, the storyteller. And if nothing else, it can help get you into your character in an Alien RPG, as you might have an understanding of how things happened, when, and where. Wait a minute. In 2023, the Wayland era begins. Sir Peter Wayland gives a TED Talk that lays out his vision for Wayland Industries and his 5-decade plan to create artificial life and take humankind to the stars. The NASA Kepler mission is sponsored by Wayland Corp. With a massive funding increase, Kepler discovers more than 6,500 human biocompatible planets within the next year. Wayland Corp's San Francisco laboratories work to perfect the process of cryosleep. Within the next 2 years, they earn the patent for the first fully automated atmospheric process. 2023 was a hell of a year for a lot of us, huh? And it looks like this is going to continue through 2028. Good jumping on point, right? Wink. So if you already didn't know anything about Alien, well, now you do. And maybe this is actually interesting to see. All right, I can start here and bridge what I know of this world because I'm living in it. Now further and further removed into this deviant a deviant future for us. We're getting into the production of hypersleep chambers. Intrasystem missions are greenlit. Things are growing, and it looks like the golden age of exploration is going to end in 2099. That'd be nice to make it to 2099. If nothing else, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Marvel comic references from 100 years ago at that point. Hurts to say. In 2099, because I mean, there's all like Spider-Man 20, but all the same, this is when our golden age of expansion will end here in Aliens. Now, if you wanted to go beyond, and we're still in it in your game, that's fine. Play into this and continue it forward, or pick out the parts you like and replace the parts you don't. And you can still have things be in a golden age of expansion if you want to set your story even in this, or go a couple 100 years after this and set it post that, but still it is what it is. Then we move into an era of colonial civil conflicts. Hyperdyne's Legacy of Conflict. Sounds very familiar. Clearly there's no I don't know, country with, or a company with Dyne in the name that makes synthetic creatures, right? Because any company that has synthetic like artificial intelligence that could hunt down or like terminate life itself would be surely a program like that would be terminated, right? Yeah, I mean, just I don't know, it sounds like a pretty cool movie though, The Terminator. No, it'd never work. It would probably never survive past one, possibly two movies. Anyway, we move into a period of Hyperdyne's legacy of conflict. We see that the art direction has changed. You're getting ideas for the shape of things, not only to come, but these pieces of art are also for you as the storyteller, as the game mother, to reference, because you may not have an idea of which world this is, but this could be your world. It could be part of your world, and you move on from there. And because now you have a way to describe how things might look, or a setup for a raid that you didn't plan your party wanting to go on, but it's going to happen. You say, wait a minute, I feel like I've seen something that can help. Ah, yes, here it is. And if you're playing with miniatures, and you say, you know what, this looks pretty close to a Warhammer 40k Rhino, well, get some inspiration and use those on your tabletop for your Space Marines of a different stripe. So this is continuing the history as things are getting spicy. That golden age of unification, like many things, it falls apart, right? And people get greedy, people get ambitious. You see this happen time and time again in human history. And as we still have humans, even in the future can be humans' history too. We even have a petroleum supply problem over here in 2181. Several petroleum supply colonies in the United Americas, Three World Empire, and United Progressive Peoples are nuked by terrorists. Several Three World Empire colonies change hands to the United Progressive Peoples, closing the area of space called the SETI Gap. Colonists that wish to leave are given 7 days to evacuate. Inspired by Robert Morse's banned book Space Beast, fanatical fringe groups begin indoctrinating frontier colonists, and the oil wars end. So this is in lore. Space Beast is the Alien movie, as it happened in this world. For those of you who, if you want to talk to someone who's, I'm not a scholar on alien lore, but I know enough to be more than a little dangerous. Anyway, of course I say that, and inevitably I'll state something as fact when it completely isn't. We come over to some other things here. The Arcturian Conundrum. A Weyland-Yutani space exploration vehicle, SEV, expeditionary team makes first contact with the Arcturians. It is humanity's first recorded encounter with sentient extraterrestrial life, although the find is contested. Examined by a science expedition from the Gehelgod Institute, Arcturians are found to share the same DNA as humankind. Several news outlets accuse Weyland-Yutani of sensationalist propaganda, claiming Arcturus to be the rediscovered lost colony mission from the 2060s. The company is unavailable for comment. The Arcturus Loop trade route is established with the pre-industrial by the way, this is if you have watched the movies and you're a fan of this, Easter eggs galore for you all. The Arcturus Loop trade route is established with the pre-industrial colony of the Arcturians. Weyland-Yutani makes any technological advances based on Arcturian medicinal practices and metaphysical, or makes many technological advances based on Arcturian medicinal practices and metaphysical theories. Rich in heavy metals, the Hyades cluster colonies grow profitable. we come over to the biological disasters of the Middle Heavens. Again, pick and choose these as you will. Also, hi, Jacance. I'm sorry, I didn't say hello to you when you first came in. Rearrange the dates, if you like. In fact, this sounds really familiar. I want you all to tell me if this sounds familiar to any of you. In 2137, Seegson is forced to close down its major deep space colonial stations, including Sevastopol Station. An unidentified contagion sweeps through the frontier, claiming Mendel Station, Wright Abera Refueling Depot, and several starships over the next 2 years. The Three World Empire begins construction of Anchor Point Station to act as a hub for colonial missions to the frontier. Did someone say Sevastopol? Yes. Apparently in 2137, something must have happened on Sevastopol. I don't know. Sounds dumb. Probably it's probably stupid. A story no one would ever like, a game no one has played, some obscure something. I don't know. 2 out of 10. Wouldn't recommend it. Oh, that's what it is, Demon Quiller. By the way, DQ is right, and I do actually recommend Alien Isolation to you all. I do. I do. Anyway. Then in 2179, a deadly contagion outbreak on Fury 161. Huh. I don't know. Random planet. Who's ever heard of Fury 161? Viral outbreaks are recorded on Rim Colony, Anchor Point, and Rodina Station. The USCMC responds to viral outbreaks on LV 666 and Yaufora Station. All are destroyed via quarantine protocols. An ICC investigation is launched into the destruction of Hadley's Hope. Hadley's Hope. Sounds like a name out of a comic book. Look, HH, I get it. Allegations are made that the colony was developing bioweapons. There's a lot. So, for those of you who like the Kappa emote, or our homegrown variant, Draga. Oh, yep, you're currently going through it on Twitch then, Capo. So join Capodrazi for some Ilium Isolation, talk lore, and also get super scared. By the way, reading timelines like this also gives you that tongue-in-cheek, kind of sarcastic, have we made contact with other life forms yet? Now, if you've read the comics, you've seen movies, you go, of course we've contacted the Yautja, the Predators. We've contacted, apparently, these Arcturians, these engineers. There's all sorts of, but the way this is written is, have we though? There's enough doubt that you can bake into the setting so that maybe timelines are a bit fudged. Maybe things weren't completely understood. This gives you a ton of flexibility while also serving as reference points. It's brilliant, and I hope that this is something that does help you. Yeah, being a Wayland Yutani man, you can get the roleplay direction this is being written in, right? Pardon. So there's more here to go over and to read the timeline to get you primed. Here's an actual 2020. Wouldn't recommend. 2020 was last year, right? I mean, literally nothing happened last year because we were shut down for that 1 year due to a contagion plague, right? Anyway, Clearly, art does not imitate life. Oh no, Capo, say it ain't so. Have I been in cryostasis hypersleep? So if you like your information presented this way, congrats, here it is. Plus, this makes for a really if you ever need to go in, I don't know, you have a player that says, well, you know, my character has come from this area and might know about this. You say, you know what? That's right. Here, let's look this up. Some haunch in a cushy office on Earth says go look at a grid reference in the middle of nowhere. We look. They don't say why, and I don't ask. I don't ask because it takes 2 weeks to get an answer out here, and the answer is always don't ask. General Manager Al Simpson, Hadley's Hope. Sounds like a really fun place, Hadley's Hope. Whether answering to corporate, governmental, or spiritual masters, humankind is in the business of expansion. Pardon me. Colonial missions may be ordered by many different organizations. In all cases, however, it will be you and your team who find yourselves on the razor's edge of the frontier, cataloging some new deadly organism or poking your head into a dark mine shaft for the first time. Exploration of a new planetary system usually starts with a corporate probe flyby. Sometimes that probe will supply promising data that determines a planetoid is ripe for terraforming and colonization. More often than not, however, a follow-up exploration team is sent in to make that final decision. Whenever there are native fauna and flora, or possible xenoarchaeological ruins, or strange spatial anomalies involved, governments, institutes, and corporations send scientific exploration Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't space SEV. Scientific, that's what the Emmet was, an SEV. Scientific exploration vehicular expeditions in to investigate. No one single entity sends out exploration teams. Corporations, institutions, and governments are all looking to stake claims out in the cosmos. And since science can be expensive, unless you're in the UPP, there's very few new worlds being explored without sponsorship. Many of these sponsors are covered later in this chapter. Most exploration teams are assigned to SEVs. FTL, scientific exploration vessels, and dispatched to unexplored sectors on the frontier and beyond. Many SEV teams are authorized to stake discovery, mining, and colonial territorial claims. In addition to their official duties, Weyland-Yutani SEV expeditions have Series 900 special orders to retrieve any uncovered xenoarchaeological artifacts. A typical SEV crew complement is 12. 1 officer, the captain, 1 company rep, 2 pilot technicians, 4 xenoscientists, 1 research synthetic, which I think we got an extended warranty on our research synthetic, so we should be good. We did get a synthetic with the extended warranty. 2 security officers and a scout. No medical officer is necessary, as an autodoc or med pod can readily fill that role. Each role is vital to the success of the mission, but any SEV expedition can operate with a team of only 6. By the way, this is kind of getting to the gist now of, oh, you want to run away missions, you want to have exploration, planet hopping, kind of in what we would consider to be more Star Trek-y, episodic in that regard. These are the team compositions. Yeah, Capo. Not only was it provided to our team, it actually has the latest update that hasn't even been pushed to the other synths yet. It's the latest operating system. Demon Quiller says, FYI, for those less familiar, Xeno does not always mean xenomorphs from the films, just any unknown species, culture, environment. That is absolutely correct, Demon Quiller. Which is why in Warhammer 40,000, you have the Ordo Xenos, which is the branch of the Inquisition meant to protect humanity from the alien. Not just Tyranids, which are an awful lot like xenomorphs, but the Eldar, the Tau, Orcs, etc. Well, I am running Windows 10 currently, but should I be 150 years from now? I don't know. I don't know if I've still heard good things about Windows 11, so maybe I'll stick with it until I can't anymore. So this is going to break down the various roles. While the exploration team dictates the expedition's mission, anything ship-related is the captain's purview. Many captains chose not to accompany any surface-side expeditions, opting to stay on the ship. It's the captain's job to make sure he can get his science teams out of whatever trouble they make for themselves. And often that means coordinating a rescue from the holotab on the bridge. Pilots. All SEV missions have at least one dedicated pilot, if not two, as pilots on SEV missions seldom leave the ship. They are picked for a combination of flying experience and high-level mechanical and technical skills. Exoscientists. The core of the team will, of course, be scientists. A geologist and a xenobiologist are mandatory. Often, a xenoarchaeologist and astrophysicist will round out the team. Now, if any of those team members make very questionable decisions despite their apparent education, well, what can you do? So it's going over the rules here. Extrasolar Colonization Administration, the ECA. Safety protocols, fair labor standards, health and human services, colony transport, establishment, and support. Pardon. Often simply called Colonial Administration, the Extrasolar Colonization Administration's mission is to protect colonial claims and advocate for the rights of all off-world colonists. The ECA was formed by the UA, the United Americas, in the wake of the United Nations Interplanetary Corps' collapse nearly 7 decades ago. They support and monitor all extrasolar colonies and stations belonging to both the UA and their allies, like the Three World Empire. The ECA maintains toxic exposure safety standards and keeps medicines and supplies flowing. Since its inception, the ECA has fought for colonists' rights to fair wages, better health care, benefits, stock options, and more downtime by proposing numerous amendments.
Khajiita's wares, if you have coin.
Nekka.
Nice, Staley. Thank you. 69 months. Very nice indeed. The healthcare benefits, stock options, and more downtime by proposing numerous amendments to the Contract of Colonial Rights and Liberties on page 13. Unfortunately, they have been directly opposed by corporate lobbyists. The ECA has been overtaxed by the oil and frontier wars, causing several sector-wide disruptions in supply chains. Now, there might be some of you out there, and by the way, this is going to be said with that sarcastic tone. We get the mood of things, but as we can have art imitate life, of course we know that every union and similar organization only has the best interests and the most fairest bargains, with zero corruption at all. It is absolutely for the benefit of everyone that they exist and continue to do so unquestioningly. So if the ECA is on your side, your colony's going to have a steady supply of medicine, Guaranteed. These statements have not been guaranteed. So take it as whatever, memeing, or you might go roll your eyes and go, yeah, well, there's a grain of truth to it, but I'm not here taking anything back into real life. Let's have fun with the concept that's presented, especially against the things that we know happens in this world. Not only especially if we're just taking the book for itself, but if you've read the comics, the novels, if you've seen the movies, not everything is always as supplied as perhaps various entities would like it to be. There is perhaps the slightest tinge of corruption in an otherwise goodly and pure organization. As that I'm sick and in the middle of a snowmageddon, I will probably in and out of consciousness, probably without power, so don't count on me for mod duties. Well, Daily, I do hope you get better. I'll have to look and see what's happening for the snowmageddon. Are we talking like you are getting multiple feet or yards of snow, or is this like a 1-2 combo where everyone ran out of salt and then now there's a big March snowstorm so no one can melt it away? So it's getting more into the roles that people can play on these crews. After a potential colony's first family has filed its reports, true colonization begins. If an atmospheric processor is needed to transform the air, a colony transports some 30 to 50 families, along with whatever equipment and tools they'll need to terraform the world. Colonial administrators, wildcatters, roughnecks, and doctors are all needed. For the first few decades, exploring the planetoid's geology and maintaining the atmospheric processor are paramount. As the air purifiers and more resources are discovered, more families join the colony and migrant miners are brought in to help with the work. It's important to note that while all explorations start with an expedition team or probe flyover, not every settlement begins with a first family. Sometimes the exploration team's report is enough for the company to set up a full colonial operation immediately. So you see this too, again, leaning into tropes, good or bad stereotypes, or leaning into other media. I keep talking about comics and novels. There's nothing saying that you can't have a Helldivers style campaign in Alien RPG. And if you're not familiar with Helldivers, well, in particular, Helldivers 2 is a game that is very popular right now. It's also stirred up a lot of conversation. I'm going to leave that as a whole other thing that you all can get into if you want. But for the most part, it is considered to be a very fun game that has this. Well, if you remember the propaganda videos from Starship Troopers, right? It's that kind of, we do this for managed democracy. We've gotten 5 inches in 2 hours and should end up between 24 and 36. Now, Daily, since you deal with a lot more snow than I do, even here in Ohio, because you're in Western Ohio, of course. Do you just wait for it all to fall and then you plow through it, or do you just do it every couple hours? Also, welcome Raiders! Darn cheesy glitch. Welcome. Yeah, what was going on over at Naziro's channel? Welcome to you, Naziro, Vazzle, and Overlord Chameleon. Gaming Cheesy. You glitched. Or was it featured? What was the game you're playing? Let's actually. Tonight was D&D night. Yeah, okay. So what glitched in Dungeons and/or Dragons? And of course, this is the low rule Zelda world that you're running, correct, Naziro? Oh, the cheesy emote is glitched. Ah, okay. Well, you can always use stinky cheese or stinky glitch, I guess. Those can work too. There you go. There's some stinky cheese for you. Oh, there's the cheesy. I like that. Did you draw that one yourself, Naziro? What fun? No fun allowed. This is supposed to be laborious and a chore. All right, so we get to what was referenced in the timelines as a blurb, like, well, here's an event that occurred. This is getting into the organizations that might be vying for the planets that are out there, the resources that might be giving orders or causing conflict, similar to what you saw in the Red Space 3-parter. Had too many V's today, and I need to take deeper breaths. Too many V's? Consummate V's like Trogdor the Burninator? You had too many Vegemite sandwiches? What is V's for you, Capo? Well, Overlord, if you have questions on the Alien RPG system, I'd be happy to help answer them. Ah, different brand of Red Bull. Okay. As for the snow, if you have a snowblower or don't like your back, you wait. If you are sane, yeah, you push the snow multiple times. I figured that seems to be the best way to go about it. So it never, I don't know, you always see those videos of they open up the front door and like there's the snow and you have to dig out of your own house. It just seems like it would be easier to just take a little bit off, right? Every hour and a half you go out there. Yep, we're talking aliens. This is the Building Better Worlds book, which is about the outer planets, exploring, colonizing them, the different factions. Some aliens lore is in here, and there's a campaign in the back of the book. I'll be careful not to reveal it because some of you might want to play through it, but we're getting through the player info. What do you know about the organizations? What do you know about the timeline? What do you know about different systems or planets? So we come over here. We have these different organizations. There's some art assets that you can always reference. I'm not going to get into the particulars with this. I want to show you that they're here. This might look very weird. Okay. Anyway, you're probably seeing some very familiar logos. For example, here we have Weyland Yutani, which WY is a very popular soy sauce packet brand you probably have in a lot of your Chinese takeout meals. This is how they got their start. They sold soy sauce enough until they could go to space. It's the story of IKEA. A door-to-door sort of miscellaneous like retailer who did that enough to now own a global furniture empire. And then, of course, we have Samus from Metroid, Seegson, right over here. Oh no! Yep, you were beleted. You were beleted, unfortunately. But for redeeming that, let's try. It might take a second to refresh. Or I might have to go out and come back into slobs. But I do see that the emote, it looks like it redeemed. According to this, it says that emote was auto approved. Hey, well, all right. It doesn't show up here, but it showed up in my actual chat. So it looks like the emote's working, everyone. There you go. Wayland just reminds me of Cyberpunk now with Wayland Boa Boa. You could probably call Wayland Yutani kind of like an Arasaka from Cyberpunk Red. So anyway, here are the different actors in what could be playing out here. The Hyperdyne Corporation, Omnitech Resources, Gemini Exoplanet Solutions. This is a company that you can also find in Alien Isolation, along with Seegson. And I think what I'll do, I'm going to get up and take a quick break as I need to refill to keep my voice going. We finished our introduction to the system, the mood of the role-playing game. Why don't we pick up here in making frontier colonists? So this is making not just making a character not just making a character in Alien RPG generally, but in particular for this campaign style of play, because it did talk about you need to be a little bit, the best of the best. You got to be tougher. You got to have better gear than being a more kind of a laid back person on the, just with on a colonial plan. If you're on the frontier, there's other things that you're going to need to be able to survive. So hold on tight. And I will return in a couple minutes. I will be refreshed, and let's look at making frontier colonists in particular, and maybe see how it's different or such. So hold on. I'll see you soon.